The problem I research is anxiety and depression. This problem is important to solve because it affects our society as a whole. Not only does it impact the person suffering with the illness, but both anxiety and depression have the ability to affect families, friends, and so many others. This problem is not one that should be taken lightly, because these mental illnesses can and will affect people's very livelihood and may potentially lead someone to take their own life. I believe that we as a society should become more aware of people who are dealing with anxiety and depression. There are many people out there who try to hide the fact that they are suffering from an illness. So you never know what a person is really going through. Because of this, I believe we should all be extra cautious with how we treat one another. And we need to respond with love and compassion towards one another to reach out to help others in need. In the crazy times we live in, cases of anxiety and depression are increasing. According to CDC, overall, 40.9% of respondents reported at least one adverse mental or behavioral health condition, including 30.9% symptoms of anxiety disorder or depressive disorder. It's just very clear that these illnesses are becoming more abundant in society today. That is a major issue. Also, another issue is the negative social stigma that is often labeled on someone who suffers with anxiety and or depression. According to Corrigan, Patrick W. and Amy C. Watson in their article, Understanding the Impact of Stigma on People with Mental Illness. Unlike physical disabilities, persons with mental illness are perceived by the public to be in control of their disabilities and responsible for causing them. Imagine suffering with a mental illness and then realizing on top of that there are people who think that you yourself are in control of it and are responsible for your anxiety/depressive thoughts. This can be very hard for someone who is suffering with anxiety or depression to tell others and seek help from a professional. Anxiety and depression both have debilitating symptoms associated with them that can drastically alter and affect one's life. Dealing with intense worry, fear, or a real sense of hopelessness can drastically impact a person's health and well-being. These mental illnesses impact more than just the mind. They shape how you handle daily activities such as sleeping, eating, and working. These daily activities are crucial for one's health, and if not done properly, can lead to other serious conditions. What is even more crucial is the risk of substance abuse and even suicide. Drug abuse has many negative consequences that could lead to overdose, felony, or chronic physical illness. It's imperative that people do not diminish these disorders and recognize the seriousness of these illnesses. One reason why I feel so strongly about being compassionate and showing love to others is because people need people, and even more so if someone is struggling with a mental illness. During this time, there are many people who feel very isolated and lonely. For someone who struggles with depression, this can be even more severe. It is important that we be intentional about reaching out to our loved ones, and especially those we know struggle with a mental illness. People need someone to talk to during this time, especially. Another reason why I feel it is important to reach out to people during this time is because if someone is struggling with something, they may be more inclined to open up if you show how you care for them and love them. A lot of people who are struggling with a mental illness may feel shame because of the negative stigma attached to the illness. However, if you can show love for someone, that helps break down barriers, and they may feel safe around you. This could lead them to share with you what they've been going through, and this is already a step in the right direction for someone who is struggling with anxiety or depression. Another reason why I feel it is important to show tenderness towards people in this time is because you can be an encouragement for someone who is dealing with a mental illness. Everyone needs to hear positive, encouraging words, and this can help lift someone's spirits. It is also an opportunity for you to encourage someone to seek professional help if they are struggling. There are many different treatments, such as medications or different forms of therapy that can help treat anxiety and depression. Now, there are maybe some people out there who think that anxiety and depression aren't really real serious illnesses and that people should be able to handle it themselves. But actually, according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, anxiety disorders develop from a complex set of risk factors including genetics, brain, chemistry, personality, and life events. The development of anxiety and depression in an individual is not that person's fault because there are so many factors that play into it that cannot be controlled. They are real illnesses that leave a person feeling distraught. If you have never experienced a mental illness, I want you to try and imagine the daily battle that takes place in the mind of someone who's struggling. The constant fear, worry, and or loneliness can be intense and can drastically affect a person's life. In conclusion, I want to encourage you guys to become more aware of those around you. You never know who is struggling with a mental illness or even just going through a tough life situation. Reach out to loved ones, encourage one another, and if you know someone is struggling, try and be there for them in whatever way possible. If you are struggling, tell someone you trust and seek out professional help. A lot of people are dealing with anxiety and depression in this day and age, so we need to do our part and support one another with love and compassion. Thank you.